Hey there, welcome back to Pass the Potatoes. I'm the Virginia Creeper, and today I'm going to show you how I make my smothered pork chops with onion and mushroom gravy, along with a side of apples, mashed potatoes, and some southern green beans. Stay tuned for some yummy yummies. Okay, welcome back to Pass Potatoes. I am the Virginia Creeper, and today I'm going to show you how I make my smothered pork chops with onion and mushroom gravy, along with a few sides. So let's get right into it. First thing you're gonna need is some boneless pork chops. Pick these up, Manager Special. Always a good deal if you can get that. In here I have the butter that I'm gonna use, and I'll put the recipe for that down in the description. Right now it's unseasoned. Also have the seasoning I'm gonna use. And we'll get right into it here. So I like to coat my pork chops a few minutes before I go to fry them, and let them sit. They'll typically absorb all the butter, and you'll have to recoat them again. Versus doing a wet and dry with an egg mixture. I don't do that. So let's get right into this. Okay, so while they're still in the pack, I'm going to take some of the seasoning. Just pre-season these. Flip them over. Right on the packaging. Get a light coating. We're not trying to put a rub on them. We just want to give them a little flavor. So this is going to go right back into the butter that we're going to do. But right now, we're going to let these stand for about 5 minutes and let that seasoning adhere pretty good. So let's let them sit. So they've sat. We got our butter seasoned up, and we're just going to get a coat on these. We're just going to let them sit in this flour mixture. And like I said, they will absorb all this flour, and they'll actually look like they're wet, and we'll have to recoat them one more time. Alright, so what I've coated them with, you can use any chicken butter that you like, seafood butter. It all works pretty good, but I'll have a recipe for this one in the description here. We're going to let those sit for about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and I'll show you what they look like after that. And while those pork chops are resting, I'm going to get my cast iron skillet. We're going to heat it up about medium low, and we're going to add some oil. We're going to shallow fry these, so that's about a 1/4 inch of oil in there, and we're going to let that heat up. Alright, so once our pork chops get done frying, we're going to place them on a metal rack so they're not sitting on wet, greasy paper towels. Put it on a cookie sheet. We can actually put a few paper towels down here just to catch the grease, make cleanup a little easier, but we'll set them right on there when they're done. Okay, and while that oil is heating up, while we're getting the lard heated up, I'm going to take 2 Granny Smith apples, and I'm going to peel them and slice them into sections. We get about 8 pieces out of this, 8 slices. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. Okay, so I have my oil heating, and while I was doing that, I also diced up 5 white potatoes, and I got them cubed up equal sizes. We're going to boil them in some chicken broth for mashed potatoes. But yeah, this is almost done. It's getting warm. Take a look at these pork chops here, and you can see they have absorbed pretty much all the butter, so we're going to toss them one more time right before we put them in. Alright, so our oil's come up to temp. We're going to take the pork chops and we're just going to give them one more flip in here. It really absorbs that coating. Get all the sides, all the edges. Push it down in there real good. And then before we put it in, we just shake it off. Lay it away from us. Lay it away from us. Alright, we're just going to let those cook for a few minutes until they get golden brown on that side, and then we'll flip them over until they're golden brown on the other. I just love using cast iron. You can use any skillet you want with this. Electric skillets work even better. You can load them up with a lot more pork chops, and you can put a lid on them and finish them off right all in the skillet. Alright, we're going to flip these over. Oh yeah, they look good. And when your cast iron skillet is seasoned just right, nothing sticks. Alright, we're going to let them go for about another 3 minutes on that side. Okay, so we are going to take these off and set them over here on our rack. Don't they look good? Alright, so we're going to let those cool down. And while we're doing that, we're going to start the onion gravy. Alright, so we drained off the oil. We're going to leave all the little bits in there, the little flavor busters, and then we're going to put about a 1/4 stick of butter in there. We're going to add 1 yellow onion sliced up, busted up. Don't dice them, leave them long. And then about 7 little baby portobellos. Then we're going to get all these softened up here. This is the start to the onion and mushroom gravy. So let's let that cook down a little bit and we'll come back. Alright, so they're starting to look good. I'm about to make the gravy. So I used some of the seasoning that was left over, and I'm also going to use some of the flour that was left over to make the roux, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Alright, so you're going to take your flour, and you're just going to take about a big old heaping teaspoon here, and you're just going to sprinkle it in on all your veggies. Now that they've softened up, we'll do that twice. And then we're just going to start stirring that in. This is going to make your roux. Turn the heat down just a smidge because we don't want to burn it. It's going to get all them good little flavor bits that were left from frying the pork chops. And I've mixed up about 3 cups of chicken broth that we're going to add in here. And we'll slowly stir that in a little bit at a time. Okay, so we're going to stir in a little bit of chicken broth here, slowly. And this will thicken up. You want it pretty loose to begin with, but as it comes to a boil, this will thicken up and be very smooth. Bring that temperature back up and get her bubbling. As it simmers, it'll thicken. You just want to scratch all the bits off the bottom of your pan. If you're using a good cast iron skillet, nothing will stick. Alright, so as it thickens up, we're going to continue to add a little bit more. I want to get this up to about 3 cups worth here. Alright, so now we're up to about 2.5 cups here. We're going to let it simmer and get a little bit more until it's sticking to the back of the spoon. We got a smidge to go. Let's let that go and thicken, and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, as it's boiling or simmering, we're just going to continue to stir it, and as it thickens, we're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. The heavy whipping cream will thicken it up as well. So we're just going to stir that as she thickens. Looks good, smells good. Can't wait. Now she's thickening up. The Look how smooth that gravy is. Alright, so that's about as thick as we want it. She's coating the back of the spoon good. As this cools, it'll get a little bit thicker. The other good thing about cast iron is you can use metal utensils in it. And we're going to place them right back in here. There's plenty of room for all of them. And we're just going to put a little bit of that on the top of each one here. Gonna put this in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes and we'll be done. Okay, so I have quartered up 2 Granny Smith apples. I actually sliced them up. We got some butter here that's just starting to brown. We're gonna make us a little side dish of fried apples. Get them all in there, get them down on medium low. And we're going to hit those with some good old apple pie spice, which is just cinnamon, sugar, and nutmeg in equal portions. We're going to let those slowly cook as we stir them. And I'm going to mash those potatoes now. Alright, so I have a stick of butter in the potatoes. We're going to add some parsley. Nice cracked black peppers. A little bit of salt. Taste that as we go. Let's give these apples a toss here. They're going to take about 4 or 5 minutes to soften up and look good, but they're cooking nice. Alright, so let me whip up these potatoes. We're going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream to them. Don't over whip your potatoes or they'll turn out really starchy and sticky. These are finished off. We're going to set these on the back burner while everything else finish up. So let's get these out now. They've been cooking for a while. They've been in the oven at 350 for about, I don't know, 12 minutes. And man, they look good. Alright, I'm going to get it plated up for you here and show you what it's supposed to look like. So we're going to get in here and get us a good old amount of mushrooms and onions. Put them right on top of that pork chop like that with the gravy. Nothing goes better with pork than apples. You could use just plain old applesauce, but I think this makes it a little bit better. Some good old southern green beans. That's what we're talking about right there. Pork chop, super tender. Look how juicy she is. Get a little piece of mushroom on there with it. That's right. Okay, that is my smothered pork chops with mushroom and onion gravy. Hope you appreciated it, and hope you like it. Try it. If you like the channel, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks.